People are pissed about the news coming out that Major League Soccer is planning on expanding to 30 teams. People are saying it's way too many, people are calling it a Ponzi scheme, and it's not just the typical Euro snob or never MLS crowd. No, even fans of the league and soccer writers seem to be a little annoyed with this move. Like, how are you even supposed to make a schedule for 30 MLS teams? Well, let's figure it out. Or at least try to. Okay, I kind of get why people don't like this. 30 teams, it's a little ridiculous for a soccer league. There's a reason you don't really see that anywhere else in the world. On the other hand, you don't usually see playoffs, salary caps, or teams called the Galaxy or Revolution either. So, yeah, number of teams, it's definitely not the only thing that makes MLS unique. And plus, US and Canada is huge, a little bigger than some of these other countries. We definitely have the landmass that can support 30 teams. But what about Russia and China? They're big too, and they don't have 30 teams. True. But if you look at where those teams are located in those leagues, most of them are concentrated to one side of the country. The MLS map and how far teams have to travel, it really is unique to the rest of the world. And it's another reason why so many teams can fit in this country. And also, those that have been following the league, this news shouldn't surprise anyone. It was inevitable. Remember when 20 teams was the magic number? Yeah, once we get to 20 teams, expansion will stop. Okay, but then it turned into 22 teams, and then 24 teams, and then 28 teams, and now we're at 30 teams. You'd think people are mad now. Just wait until the announcement comes in 2 years when they announce intentions to expand to 32 teams. And it's gonna happen. But yeah, 30 teams, that is a lot. And a business expanding too fast, that's a real concern. There have been plenty that have made that mistake before, such as the former professional soccer league in the 70s and 80s. Okay, now before we tackle this beast known as the schedule, let me very briefly address the elephant in the room. Promotion and relegation. Yes, I know the facts, I've heard both sides of the argument, and I have my own opinion on the argument. Someday, I'll make a video on it, but not today, because that would just make this video way too long. It needs its own separate video. Here's what I will say. Promotion and relegation could potentially happen in MLS. If you can convince the owners that paid the $200 million expansion fee that ProRel is a good business move, and if an agreement is made that teams in the lower leagues have to have viable stadium options and not just playing in 5,000-seat stadiums, then sure, maybe. I'm not saying yes it will. I'm not saying no it won't. I'm saying that maybe it can happen in MLS someday. But it's not happening next year, or the year after that, or the year after that. I just wanted to point that out because honestly, I don't want the discussion in the comment section to be about ProRel. I'd rather it be over the schedule. So let's pretend it's before the 2023 season. Promotion relegation, it is not on the table for now, and we just got to figure out how to make a 30-team regular season work. The only rule I have is you have to play every team once. Now, I know a lot can happen with the expansion announcements, but as of right now, Sacramento and St. Louis, they look like locks, and as far as the 30th team, I have no idea. But I like the city of Charlotte. I had a job interview there once. I didn't get hired, but I still love the city, and I think the Carolinas would be a great MLS market. So for the sake of this exercise, let's just go with Charlotte as the 30th market. Now, I love MLS. Obviously. I made a whole YouTube channel out of it. But one thing I actually don't really like is the conferences. Personally, I would prefer a single table, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Single table with 30 teams, if you play everyone twice, that's way too many games. Now, I guess you could do everyone once and a handful of teams twice, but logistically speaking, that would be kind of a mess. So, single table, unfortunately for me, let's just rule that one out. Okay, so how about the current two-conference format, East and West? You play each team in your conference twice, that's 28 games, plus the 15 other teams, that's 43 games. Now, I could see the schedule expanding a little bit from 34 games, but not to 43 games. That's too many, so again, not happening. Now, you could do every team once and certain teams in your conference twice, but again, it's kind of a mess. It's more possible than single table, but not ideal. Okay, how about 3 divisions? Yeah, East, West, and Central. Actually, not the first time MLS did this. In 2000 and 2001, they did this, but they only had 4 teams in each division. Now, with 30 teams, that would be 10 teams in each division. So you got the East, Atlanta, DC, both New Yorks, Montreal, New England, Philly, Orlando, Miami, and Charlotte. You got the Central, Toronto, Chicago, Columbus, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Minnesota, Nashville, Dallas, Houston, and Austin. And you got the West, Colorado, RSL, both LAs, San Jose, Sacramento, Seattle, Portland, Vancouver, and St. Louis. Play each team in your division twice, that's 18 games, plus every other team once. That's a total of 38 games. And this works. Again, I could see the number of games expanding a little bit from 34. And I think 38 is right on the edge. I don't know if 40 is doable, that might be just too many, but 38 in my head, that works for me. The only bummer about this format is the division alignment. For instance, one of the biggest rivalries in MLS, Toronto and Montreal, are in different divisions, so they would only play once a year. Alright, how about 4 divisions? This could be on its own, or you can still have the East and West Conference and just have 2 divisions in each conference. The only issue is that not every division will be equal, but that's okay. There's been years where the 2 conferences haven't been equal as well. Okay, so 2 divisions of 7 teams, 2 divisions of 8 teams. You play each team once, it's 29 games, plus each team in your division twice. So 29 games plus 7 games if you're in the division with 8 teams, that's 36 games. That works. But if you're in the division with 7 teams, that's 29 games plus 6 games, that puts you at 35 games. But I think I figured it out. If the 7-team divisions play 1 extra game against one of the other teams from the 7-team divisions, that'll work out, 36 games. If you think it's weird that a team would play a different divisional team twice, well, it's not like that hasn't happened before. In their expansion season, 2017, Atlanta United and Minnesota United played each other twice. So 4 divisions, while a little more complicated, works out. It could happen. Okay, so one more to go through, and this one is kind of wild. 6 divisions of 5 teams. I actually got this one from Twitter user at MikeConti929, and he's a good follow. Go ahead, check him out. Okay, Northeast Division, you got Montreal, Toronto, Chicago, Columbus, and Cincy. Atlantic Division, you got both New Yorks, Philly, DC, and New England. Southeast Division, you got Atlanta, Orlando, Nashville, Miami, and Charlotte. Wow, a lot of new teams in that one. Central Division, you got KC, St. Louis, Colorado, RSL, and Minnesota. Northwest Division, you got Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, San Jose, and Sacktown. In the Southwest Division, you got both LAs, Dallas, Houston, and Austin. Play each team in your division twice, that's 8 games, plus everyone else on the schedule, that's 25 games. That equals 33, plus 1 non-divisional game. So, for instance, the Galaxy and the San Jose Earthquakes, they're in different divisions. They would obviously play each other because, well, you know, Cali Classico. 8 plus 25 plus 1 equals 34 matches. This definitely works. Now, the only thing I would change would be to get rid of the conferences. Get rid of East and West. Don't need them. Just the division winners and the next 10 teams based on record in the playoffs. So 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15, etc. Okay, that was a lot. So 2, 3, 4, or 6 divisions. Honestly, I think I like the last one the most. I know, I said I like the single table, but hey, if MLS is going to be different, then be different. Go all out. I mean, it keeps the 34-game schedule, and I know 6 divisions seems like a lot, but to me, this is actually the most simple format. But I don't think they're going to do that. In fact, I think there's probably no shot they do that. I think they're going to go to 3 divisions. But what about you? What do you want to see? And What do you expect to see when MLS expands to 30 teams? Also, what side of the argument are you on? Are you for 30 teams or against 30 teams? Let me know. And thank you for watching.